Hi, my name is Marvin Boliker, and this is the final project for Motors and Drives. This occurred between August 6th to August 28th, 2018 at Clover Park Technical College. The project objective was to retrofit the mechanical trainer system to be able to use VFDs to control directional and speed control. The system had a single phase motor that you can see on the picture right there. Um, and it had a speed of around 1750 RPM, and we were to make it work with a VFD this time and be able to get dual direction and speed control. So it can help with a mechanical system class, where the previous class we had to use solely this mechanical systems to control the speed and direction. I have here a list of materials and equipment. This can also be seen on the lab report that was handed in with this project. Procedure. You can also take an in-depth look at it with the lab report attached with this uh, project. This video here, it was testing the VFD directional control. The previous week we had just used a different VFD system, and there we carried forward what we learned from that class to this one to start testing out the equipment. Today is August 15th. So far, we've been able to wire the G2 VFD we're going to use for the final projects. And right now we're trying to test to see if we're going to use a directional button to choose reverse and forward. And we just wire that in to see if it'll work. So yeah, you turn it one side, it spins one way. That stops it. And that spins it the other way. So we're gonna use that and go back to the old board using the former clutch brake system as a two-way for forward and reverse. Alright. And when it comes to speed control, right now we can use the dial itself that's on the VFD. At the moment we're waiting for external potentiometers. That way we won't have to use this dial to control the speed and frequency. Alright, I'll get another video to show progress. Alright, that was the first video taken on the 15th. On the see how when encountering the contactor we had to rechange the initial schematic, which you can also see in the reports. Alright, while we were starting this old system, we realized that if we want to use the safety buttons and the two buttons to control the motor, it previously ran off of single phase, so it was easy to do that. But once we introduced the VFD, the first schematics showed that we wanted to do it before the VFD, and that would have made it not be ideal, because that means every time you stop the system, you're shutting off the VFD. So we suggested to, instead of using the L1, and neutral from the original system to control it, we're going to do the L1 and L2 off the three-phase from the VFD. Take those two and run them through the contactor, and from there you can be able to control the on and off and have the emergency stop button at the same time. So from this old board, we're going to replace the former variable, because that was an encoder, So we're going to take that one off, replace that with a potentiometer, and then we're still going to reuse the former button with the two directions for forward and reverse. And pretty much that's where we at. Oh, at the moment we've also added two metal bars back there and a metal sheet by the window to be the new board that we're going to mount the new system on. Alright, let's see some more videos as we... Alright, on to the next video. Alright, on this slide, just another progress report.
Pretty big mom, but still.
Marvin Belicker today, just looking at the mounted board. The metal frames were painted and the three components were mounted onto the system. There'll be more information coming up. Yeah, that was just a short. And this time we were trying to replicate the button function. So we set up the contactor on the trainer to achieve the same results. Alright, today is August 15th. And this time we're trying to see how to wire L1 and L2 from 3-phase via the contactor so we can be able to control it using the push buttons and the emergency button. So we are recreating the same situation as we had from before using this old control system, but this time we're working on it on the trainer. So we have a motor down here, the trainer motor already connected in, and I'll push the green button and the motor starts running. You can see I push on the red button, stops the motor. So controls here trip the contactor and vice versa. And then let's test out the emergency stop. So I'll run it on and push the E-stop. Stops the power. And even now when you hit the green button, nothing happens unless you reset the E-stop. And then there we go. So the idea of using L1 and L2 from the 3-phase to control the motor actually works. There'll be more videos showing progress in the project. Alright. This next slide, finally the potentiometers came in after waiting for a little while, and then we were testing them. Alright, showing progress. All systems still working, but we got the wires labeled in preparation for mounting the rest on it. As you can see, the VFD is already there. No, it's not wired yet. And then on this side, finally we got a potentiometer to work. So we've tested it and it does control the speed. The beautiful thing is that this time we can take this off and the system still works. Alright, a little bit more info. Alright. All systems. The next slide, there was a mistake that happened, and somebody wired 208 3-phase instead of single phase 120, and so we lost the first of the two VFDs that got destroyed during the project. Actually, the same afternoon, same person did the same mistake, so kind of slow on learning, but it was a nice learning process because I actually ended up being able to see the inside of the VFD. And oh, Marvin Belicker here. I'm just looking through the insides of a VFD. You can see the huge capacitors in the back, the fan, the heat sinks, the inductors. Over here we have a long capacitor. I'll have more information about that in the lab report. and that's what led to the selecting of this VFD. It's interesting to look what goes inside the system. Alright, on to the next slide. Marvin Balika here.